People are starving, and they don't care. They don't care. That pisses me off to the highest fullest, knowing that these people do not care about the common man and woman in this country.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour. Politics. Heineken. Good conversation. I don't think you really get that whole concept. Politics. Heineken. Good conversation. I don't think you really get that whole concept.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour.
Yeah.
On King Live.
Yeah. Yeah.
On King Live.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
share, and subscribe.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Like,
Yeah.
share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
share, and
Yeah.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Aye,
Go calm. Yeah. Go calm.
aye,
Go calm. Yeah. Go calm.
aye,
Yeah. Go calm.
aye,
Yeah. Go calm.
aye,
Yeah.
aye,
Go calm.
aye,
Yeah.
aye,
Go calm. Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
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 Welcome to the Heineken Hour with Conking Live.
What's going on, everybody? I have a confession to make. You know, I started this live when I thought I did, like 5 minutes ago. So I'm sitting here talking. I even played a video. And you know what? I wasn't even live. Oh my God. I'm sitting here, I'm talking. I'm saying all these things. I'm playing a video. And then I looked around. I'm like, what's going on? It's like, all right. And then I look, I'm like, I'm not even fucking live. So OMG. I feel so embarrassed. I feel like a freaking idiot, you know. Well, I'm here today just to be chatty. I really don't have a topic. I have a couple things I'm gonna talk about, but no really specific topic per se. I'm here basically trying to get some watch hours, to be honest with you. I need watch hours for my channel. So I'm gonna be here for a minute. I have been roaming around the beef in the black sector for the last couple of days, and I've been listening to some of these lives and some of this nonsense. You know, I honestly I just can't really get too deep into a lot of these things because none of it makes sense to me. A couple things that they're talking about now out there in the beef sector and the black sector. They're talking about the debate last night, which wasn't a debate. They're talking about colorism. Now, colorism is very interesting to me because as a black man in America, as a black man growing up in the South, growing up in the 80s, growing up in the 70s and the 80s, I was affected by colorism. You know, as an immature child growing up in the 70s and the 80s, I let it affect me. It did affect me. I was one of the, I ain't gonna say I was the darkest kid in school, but you know, my skin was darker than a lot of other kids, and I was picked on because of my skin color, and I took it to heart. I really did. But as I grew, as I matured, as I learned about life itself, I learned that it's not about what other people think about you. It's about what you think about you. It's all about you. In the 80s, Spike Lee came out with School Days. In my opinion, I think School Days helped change the culture when it came to colorism. Because in my opinion, again, I think colorism got a little better after Spike Lee. Because the School Days was based on dark skin against versus light skin, blacks. And I think people became more accepting of dark skinned blacks. Because after Spike Lee did this movie, you start seeing more dark skinned females on the cover of magazines or walking down the runway as models. Some of the most beautiful dark skinned blacks start getting recognized, more in society after that. And so I think Spike Lee did a lot of good with School Days. If I had to recommend a movie that talks about colorism and how colorism really affects the black community, I would say look at School Days. It was a very, to me, it was a very powerful movie that had a great message to it. And I enjoy School Days. I can watch School Days. To me, School Days is a movie that you can watch 20 years, 30 years down the road. It's still going to be relevant today. That's the type of movie School Days is. And I really enjoyed School Days. But like I was saying, when people who have issues with their skin color, it's all about self-esteem. You have to have high self-esteem to overlook what people feel about you and your color, your skin color. When you got low self-esteem, those are the ones that are affected the most in a negative way about the skin tone. And when I see people who are offended in today's society, or they feel like they're being picked on because their skin tone is darker than other people, or they looked upon in a negative way, that's all about low self-esteem. That's what it's all about. And I would tell people today, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and look at yourself in a positive light. Only you can change the way you feel about your skin color. No one else. No one can tell you that you're ugly. No one can tell you that you're beautiful. That's something that you have to feel within yourself. If you feel like someone is looking at you in a negative light because of your skin tone, that means that you feel that way about yourself. It kind of like, for instance, when I see a beautiful BBW, I think those women who have the greatest self-esteem, they can be 500 pounds, but they feel like they are the most beautiful woman in the world. They feel like they are a supermodel. And that's something that taught me, it's not about what people think about you, it's what you think about yourself. Because if you think highly about yourself, ain't nobody can tell you shit about you. You can be the darkest motherfucker in the world, but you can walk out that door, you feel like you ain't shit. I mean, you is the shit. I mean, ain't nobody can tell you nothing. And I think a lot of times when people feel a certain way and they feel like they're being picked on because of their color, it's more about them than other people. It's all about them. Because I've seen some of the most darkest skin models and they look so beautiful. They embrace their skin color. They know that they're beautiful inside and out, and no one can tell them different. No one can tell them different. And that's the way you got to look at life. What's up, T Black? And that's the way you got to look at life. You got to take on life like that. I'm the shit. I don't care what no one says. But I seen this woman one time. I swear to God, no lie. This woman had to be 500 pounds. And you couldn't tell her shit about herself. She thought she was a supermodel. You couldn't tell her shit. And I like that. And I really appreciate that. Because she know who she was. She know what she's all about. And no one's going to tell her different than the way she feel. So when I see these women, like this one lady over there in the beef sector, it seems like she has an issue with her skin color. She think people have issues with her skin color. No, it's not about people. It's about you. Because if you love yourself and you really feel yourself, you don't give a damn what someone else says. You don't give a damn. You can compete with anybody out there. We need to stop letting society dictate to us how we feel about ourselves. Because that's what's really going on around here. We're allowing society to dictate to us how we feel about ourselves. And I had to learn that myself. I really had to learn that. And I didn't learn that until I was probably 19, 20 years old. I was in the military when I learned that I didn't care what no one thought about my skin color anymore. I didn't care if you thought I was the most ugliest motherfucker in America. I didn't care. What's up, King Curl? I don't care because I know how I feel about myself. No, just because this woman finds me ugly, well, this woman here finds me sexy. And I got the same skin color, same skin tone as this person over here who don't like me. But this woman here just as beautiful as that woman. And she find me very attractive. And that taught me a lesson. It's about how you feel about yourself. That's what it's all about. And then I heard about this contest they was going to have about skin color. I'm like, what kind of shit is that? Who has a contest where you are inviting only a dark skinned group of people because they feel like they are being picked on all the time? So we need to have a contest just with them to make them feel beautiful about themselves. And I'm like, that's the most insane shit that I've heard in a while. That's just like going back to the 50s and the 60s, and you're doing the paper bag challenge comparison. That's crazy. These people self-esteem is so low when it comes to their color that they have to do a contest just with dark skins just to make them feel good about themselves. That is insane. You are allowing a group of people to tell you how you should feel about yourself. That is insane. That is so crazy. And I look at these things, I'm like, are we really doing this? And the sad thing about it, these are people in their 40s. These are people in their 50s. How can you be this old and still have low self-esteem about your skin tone? How? If I sit up here today and told you I cared about how anyone felt about my skin tone, I'll be lying to you because I don't give a damn what anyone think about my skin tone. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care. I have dated white people. I have dated light-skinned people. I have dated dark-skinned people. I have dated in between people, as in their skin color, they was a little lighter than me. I have dated the entire rainbow. And I know what I'm capable of doing. I know that I have such high self-esteem about my skin tone that I can date anyone. But a lot of these people, they don't get it. They don't understand. They sit here and they feel bad because they're dark skinned. They feel they got low self-esteem because they're dark skinned. That is crazy. Especially when you're in your 40s and your 50s. I'm like, if you're in your 50s, you've been around so long that your skin tone to you shouldn't even matter anymore. You shouldn't even look and you shouldn't even think about that anymore. You're too old. You're too mature to be even thinking that way. But I did a short video the other day, and it came from MLK. And this came from the 60s. And it's relevant in 2024. I'm going to play it for y'all. Let me share my screen. And basically what it is, I titled it, I Am Black But Beautiful. And I think everybody should feel that way. But it's like 30 seconds long. I'm going to play it. Let y'all listen to it.
Now that means that you should not be ashamed of your color. You know, it's very unfortunate that in so many instances, our society has placed a stigma on the Negro's color. You know, there are some Negroes who are ashamed of themselves. Don't be ashamed of your color. Don't be ashamed of your biological features. Somehow you must be able to say in your own lives and really believe it, I am black but beautiful. And it's not.
And that's the attitude that we all, what's up, K-Star? That's the attitude that we all should have. You know, we are beautiful. no matter what color you are, no matter if you're a light-skinned black, no matter if you're a dark-skinned black, you should always feel that you're beautiful. Always, like I said, don't never let no one tell you that because of your skin color, you're ugly, because you're not. You know, we need to get past the color thing, because it's not about the color. It's about what's inside you. That's what it's about. It's about how you treat others and how others treat you. That's what it's about. But we get so caught up into this colorism thing that it's sad. Here it is, 2024, and in the black community, we're still talking about colorism within our community. That's crazy. That's crazy. And we shouldn't be at this state right now. We have come so far. Why are we still talking about colorism? Why are we still trying to play who's beautiful and who's not beautiful according to their skin tone? Like I said, I grew up in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s, where colorism was big then. It was big. But the thing about it is, in the 90s, it changed. I remember it used to be a funny thing where in the 90s they were saying, "Oh, the dark skinned brothers are in now, the light skinned brothers are out," and this was after the Spike Lee School Days movie came out. They were saying, "Oh, the black brothers are in now, dark." Everybody was in love with dark skinned brothers after that, you know. So it's all about people judging you. Don't let no one judge you. And for the sister over there in the beef sector who have an issue with her dark skin, love yourself. You have to love yourself first. If you're loving yourself and you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're saying, "Yes, I'm beautiful. I don't care what no one says about me. I am beautiful." And that's what it's all about. And that's something that we need to understand. It's about you. Look in the mirror at yourself and ask yourself, are you beautiful? And you should say, "Yes, I am beautiful." And no one can tell me different. No one. Because I'd be damned if somebody can tell me today that just because I'm a dark-skinned nigga that I'm ugly. I'd be damned you're going to make me feel bad. No, you're not. You're not going to make me feel bad because I know who I am on the inside. And I'm too damn old to let anybody tell me how to feel about myself. And that's another thing that pisses me off with that sister. You're too damn old to be allowing other people to make you feel bad about your skin color, or for you to be thinking that other people feel a certain way about you because of your skin color. Never do that. Never do that. You know, and I'm gonna kind of switch gears a little bit. I'm gonna talk about immigration and how immigration is kind of like influencing colorism in America today, because immigration is playing a part also in this. You know, even though Puerto Ricans been here for years and they are U.S. citizens, but if you go to Puerto Rico, they have an issue in Puerto Rico because they are divided in Puerto Rico along color lines. You got dark-skinned Puerto Ricans and you got white-looking Puerter Ricans. And I actually, when I first moved up here, after a few years of being here, I dated a Puerto Rican. Well, I dated a couple of Puerto Ricans, but one Puerto Rican that I dated, she looked like she was white. And me and her was talking, and she was telling me about her mother, and she was telling me that basically her mother didn't like dark-skinned Puerto Ricans, that it was. And then as I went to Puerto Rico one time, and I seen that the divide along not racial, but along the color line, dark-skinned Puerto Ricans against light-skinned Puerto Ricans. So that they bring that issue to America. So that adds to the colorism in America. I've been to DR, Dominican Republic. They got dark-skinned Dominicans, and they got light-skinned Dominicans. So they got white-looking Dominicans also. Same thing. They are divided along the color line. You know, the white-looking Puerto Rican Dominicans have issues with the dark-skinned Dominicans. So they, matter of fact, on that island is two countries. You got Haiti and you got DR. And DR despise Haitians. As a matter of fact, a few years back, DR actually told Haitians that was born in DR that they took their citizenship back. They got rid of the citizenship. They were no longer citizens. So That's an issue on the island of Espanol, which is Dominican and Haitian and Haiti. So they bring that to the U.S. to add to colorism. Now, by me living in the Northeast, living outside of Boston, Boston is very diverse. You got Cape Verdeans, you got Haitians, you got Dominicans, you got Puerto Ricans, you got Portuguese, you got the Irish, you got all different types of groups there. But I'm gonna talk about the Cape Verdeans. What's up, Roy? I'm gonna talk about the Cape Verdeans and their influence on colorism. Most Cape Verdeans that I have come across, like because Brockton, Mass, has a very high population of Cape Verdeans. Boston got a high population of Cape Verdeans. The ones I have come across, they're very fair-skinned people, because they're mixed with African and Portuguese. So a lot of them are very light-skinned, but there are some dark-skinned ones also because they're from Africa. It's off the coast of Africa. So, and in my opinion, they tend to look down on dark-skinned people. They're high yellow and they tend to look down. But that's contributed to American colorism. So a lot of this colorism today is happening because of immigration. When you bring immigrants into this country, and even when you talk about Hispanics in Latin America, we talk about Mexicans, Central America, those types of Hispanics, they are the same way. They all frown upon darker skinned people. And all this contributes to colorism in America. And I think this is one reason why colorism is making a great comeback, because of immigration. Because when you start bringing in outside groups into the country, they bring those same ills with them, those same stereotypes, or that same self-racism. I call it self-racism because that's what it is. I don't call it self-hate. I call it self-racism because you're being biased against your own people. And that's the sad thing about the whole situation. You shouldn't be biased against your own people. You are a group of people that should be standing strong together as one. But how can you stand strong together as one when you're judging one another on your skin tone? You can't. It's very hard to do this. It's very hard to stand it with someone who looks down on you because you might be a darker skin color than that person. So we all need to understand how colorism is working in 2024. And I really believe that immigration plays a part in that, because I go back to the 90s and colorism started to die down a little bit. It wasn't completely gone, but people start accepting things more than they did in the 70s and the 80s and before that. And that's why I'm saying immigration plays a part in this colorism. But like I said, we need to understand how this works. But when you boil it down, it's all about you. When you boil it down, it's all about how you feel about yourself inside. If you love yourself, you don't care what someone else thinks about you. And that's why I say I love people who have high self-esteem to the point where they can be, according to society, they can be out of shape. They can be ugly looking according to society. But according to them, they're beautiful. I can't believe people are still tripping on colorism. Yeah, I'm the same way, T. I'm the same way. It's to the point where, we have come a long ways since the 70s and the 80s. But here we are in 2024, and people still talk about colorism. And I'm not sure how much you travels over there in the beef sector, but in the beef sector, it's huge over there. It's very huge in the beef sector. That they talk about colorism over there a lot. And it's like, why? Why is it a big deal? We all are the same. And another thing also, how can you have colorism amongst you and then you talk about the way white people talk about you? See, it doesn't mix. It doesn't jive. In a sense, to me, it doesn't jive. We sit here, we knock white people for being racist against us, but then we turn around, and I'm gonna use the word racism, not hate, not self-hate, but I'm gonna use self-racism against ourselves, because that's what it is. Oh, you don't go to the beef circle too much? drama and yags. That is true. That is true. That is true. But I do go over there and watch. I do go over there and watch. And I see people who just it's crazy. It's a to me it's a major issue over there, and it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. People don't understand that we are grown, mature individuals, and we should not be acting like immature teenagers who are so easy to have our feelings hurt. You know, to me, that tells me that you haven't grown up enough to get past certain things. Even if you're in your 40s or your 50s. But for some strange reason, there's a lot of people over there who hasn't grown past colorism. You know, like I said, the other day when I heard about them having a contest just for dark-skinned Black women, I'm like, are we really gonna do this? Are we really gonna have a dark-skinned contest, beauty contest? And then I was watching Jay Wilson yesterday, and he had the young lady that was going to have the contest up there on his panel, and they was talking about it. And she claimed that maybe she didn't think it through first before she put it out there. Well, you're right. You didn't think it through, because who has a contest just for dark-skinned Black women? No light women, no light-skinned women included, just dark-skinned, because she wants them to feel good about themselves. Well, you can have 1,000 contests with dark-skinned Black women. It's not about having a contest. It's about instilling self-esteem into those dark-skinned females. That's what it's about. A contest is not going to do it. Because basically what you're doing, you're putting dark-skinned people against dark-skinned people. Instead of making it a more diverse group and let someone pick the most beautiful person out of that group. You know, how can you make a person who have low self-esteem feel good about themselves when you putting them up against the same type of person? You know, if I go get 20 dark-skinned people who feel bad about their skin color and put them in the same contest together, and I picked out this one as being the most beautiful dark-skinned person, what did I just prove? I didn't prove anything by doing that. What did I prove? Because according to them, they're ugly. So what I just did was pick the most beautiful person from the most ugly person. Does that make sense? That's what I just did. So that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all to do that. To me, it's an insult, because you feel like my skin color is not good enough to compete against someone who's lighter than me. That's how I would look at that. I would feel insulted to the point where you do not want to put a light-skinned person in your contest because you feel like I'm not beautiful enough to compete against a lighter-skinned Black person. That's just the way I would think about it. You know, but like I said, here it is 2024, and we having this conversation. We shouldn't be having this conversation. It's a dumb conversation to even be having. It's a dumb contest to even be having. To me, it's doing more harm than good. You know, it's kind of like putting your child, dumbing down something for your child, making it much simpler for your child. Instead of her reading something that your child could be in kindergarten, instead of making your child read something that on the 3rd grade or the 4th grade level, you're making your child read something in pre-K, and they're in kindergarten. You know, you're not challenging your child. You're dumbing it down for your child to feel good about themselves. That doesn't work. That does the reverse effect, because once your child meet a real challenge, they're not going to know how to handle that challenge. So you just talk to a child to always do less than do more, if that makes sense. But it is who is. And I think that's what's wrong with the world today. We try to dumb everything down for people instead of making people think above their level instead of beneath their level. You know, it's all about teaching someone self-worth. You have to love yourself. I'm gonna play this video one more time because I came across this and I love it. I really love what MLK said because it makes a lot of sense. You have to love yourself. You have to love yourself.
Now that means that you should not be ashamed of your color. You know, it's very unfortunate that in so many instances, our society has placed a stigma on the Negro's color. You know, there are some Negroes who are ashamed of themselves. Don't be ashamed of your color. Don't be ashamed of your biological features. Somehow you must be able to say in your own lives and really believe it, I am black but beautiful.
And that's what it's all about. You're black, but you're beautiful. You have to instill that in yourself. You have to tell yourself that every day until you start to live in it. Because some of y'all don't even live it. Y'all don't look in the mirror at yourself and say it. Y'all just wake up and go off of what someone else is telling you, you know, which is sad. It's very sad that we do that. And we shouldn't be doing that. We should be living our lives to the fullest. And we should be taking ourselves seriously and maturing the way we think about ourselves and understand it's all about how you feel about yourself, and no one can tell you different. If you go by that rule, you won't never have to worry about anyone looking down on you because of your skin tone. Never, ever. So with that said, I am going to get out of here. I did 30 minutes. I think I got my point across when it comes to colorism. So until next time, I salute you all. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
People are starving and they don't care. They don't care. That pisses me off to the highest fullest, knowing that these people do not care about the common man and woman in this country.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour. Politics. Heineken. Good conversation. I don't think you really get that whole concept. Politics. Heineken. Good conversation. I don't think you really get that whole concept.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour.
Yeah.
On King Live.
Yeah. Yeah.
On King Live.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
share, and subscribe.
Yeah. Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Welcome to the Heineken Hour. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute. Let's get drunk. Salute, salute.
Yeah. King.
Let's get drunk.
Yeah. King.
Let's get